Okay, mine is all together, and what we can do now, remove the backing of this and we can put it in our book. So I'm just going to bring my book back, and then I'm going to pick and see what size or which side I like the best. Doesn't matter, it all looks good, and we are putting it in our book. So we just need to make sure that we are going to be even top and bottom. I'm just going to remove a little bit on the side, and I will lift this so it's easier for me to pull. I'm just going to do the one so I can make sure that I'm even and I'm off my fold line, my score line of my book. You can push that up. Okay, and it's this when you need an extra pair of hands. I'm just lining it up, top and bottom, and I'm just take your time, and I think I'm fine. I'm gonna hold it, pressed it down, and that side. Okay, now we can lift it all, and hopefully this will come out. And we're gonna bring it, yes, and press it down. I just need to grab my bone folder. And that side's in the middle. And that's it. And that is for our pages. Now, if you don't want this to be an inch long, you can have it half an inch as well. But what I'm gonna do is a pocket page. And yes, I probably gonna need, you can still cut it now if this is for you too, too long. You can still cut it, just put a hardboard underneath that, and then you can cut it if you want to. But I think I'm just gonna leave mine as it is. So now we're gonna come in and do the pages, and like I say, it's going to be a pocket page. And let me just get it all together for you, and then I can come back and show you. What I mean a pocket page, it's 2 pages. It's going to be on this side, and there's one on this side, and it's an open, so you can put your, you can slide extra photos, extra anything that you like. So that gives you that option of having something that you have more space in your book for photos and photo mats. This is what I'm using. So it's a 250 GSM. So it's not as thick as a cardstock, but I do like this, the weight of this paper. Even when you score it, it scores beautiful. Although I have to score it on both sides. but it is scoring very nice. So let's do our pockets. To make our pocket pages, all that we're going to need is 6 9" and 6.5. 9 inches in the length, no, the width, sorry, the width. Score it 1/2 inch and then 6 inches. The other page, we need 6.5 inches by 8 inches, and that's all, 6 of them. That is, they're going to fit on top of each other like that. That's going to be our pocket page. Very easy. Now you need to see that you fit before you put it in your book. Let's put it in the book. I'm just going to grab this. So the first one is I will do my pocket page. My pocket, the one with the flaps. I'll do the one with the flaps first. Now I have to kind of put something here because my camera and white paper, no, they're not friends. I did cut a little bit of an angle. Okay, and all my ones with a flap are going to be in the inside, on the inside. You can have it on this side, does not matter at all. So what I'll do, you see your score line, you go over your score line and I'll fold this and I fold that over and I fold that over, and we're going to glue that down. So when you turn your page, you need to see your score line. That's when you turn your page. I'm just going to grab my glue and I'll be back with you. Now I've put my glue on. I hope you can see. That is probably a little bit too much, but yes, that's me. Okay, I am going to put this down, and all I need to know is over my score line, and I go past my score line on this side and past my score line at the top, and I'm gonna bring this flap down. Now you can always maneuver it if you have to. That's why we do glue. I'm not going to press it hard. Yes, I am happy with this part here, that I am not on my score line here. And now I can press and we can burnish. I did put this the glue on the edge of my page there, on the flap I should say, and down there. If it seep out, just clean it up, that's it. And that side is in, and we can still open and close it. Then we're going to bring this in and that in. Now I think I am going just to cut it a little bit on an angle to the corner and to the corner. You don't need to if you don't want to, if you're not 100% sure. And then we are placing this on, and make sure that we will be even and away from our score line, and we are even. Now at this stage you have to decide if you want to do notches in your paper. You can always do it later if you want to do notches or not. At this stage I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing, and let me glue mine and then I can show you. Now my page is in, my first page is in, and you can see it is a nice deep pocket. This is an easy way for me of doing it. Some people glue it all on the sides, put score tape at the top, bottom, and then they put it in. And to me this way it is very easy, and I know I will get it all even. So I'm going to do the rest of them, but I do have the pattern paper ready to go on, and I also do have the designs that I've done. So maybe this way I am going to do the design on this paper first. So this is the front of my book. This is going to be my first page and then my second page. So I'm going to work on these two first before I'm going to carry on putting the other pages in. I'm just going to grab the pattern papers that I want for it. I'm going to put these two aside, way aside, so I don't cut into it, because it did happen with me before. And let's see what we can do. Oh yeah, right, I do like this one. Let's start with this one and see what we can come up. I've cut my first page, so right through the whole book on both sides we're going to cut our pattern papers or your designer's paper. We're going to cut it 6 3/8, that is 6 3/8 that way, and 7 3/4 that way, and that fits perfectly onto our page. What we are going to do with this, I like to tuck, let me show you, I like when I've got a fold and a flap, I like to put it underneath my designer's paper. Or some people, they put that on their paper and then they will put this over it, but I prefer to do it this way before I put my designer's paper in my book. This is what I like to do. Now I'm just going to get everything ready. I just need to take my book away. We are working on that, and I'm going to get everything ready, and then I'm also going to cut the paper, and then I'll come back and I'll show you. It's just, I don't want these videos to be that long, and it can be very long and starting to be boring. Let me prepare everything and I'll come back and I can show you exactly what it looks like, and I will give you all the measurements. So I'm going to make a pocket, and what I've done is I use my die cut and I've put both papers together and cut it all on the same time. I do have an electronic die cut machine, It is the one from Creations, Couture Creations. And then I'll just cut this side off here, and I can line up my pocket easy, and I know they all gonna be fit. This side is what we've cut off at the bottom here, and it is that on the other side. It is big enough for a pocket. You can see there. I'm just putting it onto my white cardstock, and then these pieces, it is what's left from the page. I did cut this all out, and then there is a long piece that's left. Now I will put this all in a separate pile. That is what we're gonna have to look in. We will never throw anything away. The last thing that the last page been done, that is when you can start throwing away whatever you don't need. Now I can see that I just need to trim a little bit on both sides. I am going to do that so I can fit on the white. Now my white is also big. I am gonna have 1/8 of an inch showing here, and then I'm gonna do a score line, and then I'll cut the rest off. Let me do that and I can show you. So I did cut it, so I now fit nicely onto the page, and I'm just gonna measure this over here using my scoreboard, and I'm just going to get my stylus and just butt it up, and that's it. Okay, so I want 1/8 of an inch showing, and let's see if I'm square up. Yes, I'm happy with that. That's too close. I'm gonna score there. I'll just have to turn my page and score again. Just need to line it up. Okay. Now that's fit to the page, and I am going to cut out the corners and turn. Oh, this is a little bit too wide. And corners. And let's finish. We can glue that on. I'm going to glue mine on, and then I can show you. I think it looks very pretty. This goes around our page like that, and that's gonna go on top of it, and it looks very pretty. Let me glue mine down. That's it. My front page is on. My pattern paper, and we can come and do this. So let me show you a very easy way of doing this. Just put some glue on the one side of your flap, make sure you're on the sides, and let's do it. Oops. We can put it down, and as long as you can see your score line. So, and you level at the bottom here. Now we can do this part. We can glue this up. So let me show you what I've done so far. I just need to put my magnets aside. What we did, I cut the page 6 3/8 by 7 3/4, and then I have these two open flaps, fold outs. Now they measure let's see, that's 1/2 inch to score line, so they measure 4 3/4 that way, 4 3/4 by 5 1/2, and I did 2 of them. Score on the half, and then I just glue it on the back. Now I've done a little bit from the edge there, a little bit from the top, and a little bit from the bottom here as well, and then I just round the corners. This one I did an extra score. It's just 1 notch on, and that's an 1/8 inch, so you have 2 score lines onto this one. And it needs to come up. That's it. And we're gonna do it that way. That's why this one's got an extra score line. Now we're going to do the magnets. I've got these 2 little magnets, and I think if I do put it over there, it will be fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna eyeball it and see. It doesn't really matter where you put it, as long as it can close your page. And this one I need to cut. And let's take the backing off. And that's it. And then we can bring this one down. And yes, I think that is okay. Let's lift it. Now, what I've cut off of this page, it was it had that at the back. I don't want to use this. I think this does not fit in. It's too dark for over here, so I've just turned it, and I'm going to use that side. This was the other side. It was at the top, and I think I want to use the bird's nest. Now it might be too yellow as well. We can use that, and I might change my mind. I think I'm gonna do that. Right, let's glue. I'm just gonna glue this on, and I can show you. I've got my glue at the back, Just my pricky tool. Gonna take the backing off. And then we're gonna place it. I also did round the corners of my white cardstock. I do like it. To me it looks better. You don't need to if you don't want to. And then we're gonna put this one and let me glue it on. That is it. I've glued it on. And this one I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave that white. And I will come back and then we can see what we can do onto our magnet. And this is our second page, and we can put it in the book. Score tape all around. Now this is what I do with my score tape. I just go onto the edge of my paper and on this side to the edge, because you want the edge of your paper to be nice and flat. And on this, oops, and let's do the last one. 1, 2, got it, and then a strip in the middle. I will fill it in with glue. And just burnish, get all the air out. Score tape is very nice to use, but you need to take care of it. And I'm going to lift the middle. I'll take that off, and then I'm just gonna fill it with glue. You can use more score tape and not using glue, that is all good. And I'm just lifting a corner. And on that side, I'm not very confident. If I need some wiggle room, I do have it. And let's bring our book back. And we can put it in. That is going to be on this side. All I'm going to do is line it up with the pattern paper on this side, because that is being cut exactly the same size. And then away from my score line, and I think I'm good. Down. Oops. Let me just turn it so I can lift it. So I can just get into that. And I can get the backing off. That's right. And then that side. Now we can burnish it. Let me turn and let's burnish. This is beautiful paper, and with the white it looks very nice. That is our 2 pages in the book, and I think you do agree with me, it is very pretty. Let's going on to, I'm not going to do this side, but I'm going to do the next page, and we can put that in the book. So the next 2 pages, easy pages, let me show you. I cut the pattern paper, just a little pocket at the bottom, and I use my die, that is this Heartfelt Creations, and I cut the pattern paper. I did the same with the flip out. Now the flip out measures, it measures 6 3/8, and then from that end to where the wave is here, it is 5 3/4. So there's just a little bit of a gap here between the 2 die cut ends. I use just the dots of the pattern paper, and on this side it is just, I did the die cut again. That is a tag, and unfortunately I did not have enough. I had to fill in at that section there, but you can't even see that. And this will close with a photo mat that we are going to put in, so we don't need to have an extra for that. That is on this side. The other side, I also cut the paper down to size that it fits on the pattern paper, that it fits on the page. Now this is a tuck spot or a pocket, and there's measures. This measures 6 inches in the width, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch. In the length, it's going to be 5.5 inches, and you're going to score at 5 inch. Then I've just got a small belly band that I've put onto my pattern paper. The pattern paper measures at 5 1/4 by 4 7/8, and then I just did a small belly band. That's just from a cut off. It measures 1.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and this is the little tag that you do get in your paper back. So all I've done is I put my score tape on the back already, and it is ready to go in. I'm just going to put something in here just to close that down, so when I'm working with it, it's easier with me. I've burnished, lift up the middle score tape, and then I'm going to fill it in with glue. Let me do mine, and I can show you when I'm done. Now, I did fill in the glue, and just gonna do the corners a little bit. One day I will take them all off. And this one, to me this is easy, and that one. let's place it in. Just make sure I'm away from my score line. And the top, it looks good. I can press it down. And burnish. Now I can open this and we can burnish it. And that page is in. I am going to keep this one just to keep it close. Let's do this one. Score tape. Gonna lift that and fill it in with glue, and I think my glue is really on its ends. If you people hear a noise, it is the family watching sport, and my craft room is very close to where they're watching sport. And let's turn it and make sure you are away from score lines. That's right. And even with the page, top and bottom, I think I'm okay. I think I can see my glue sticking out here from the score tape, and I'm just gonna roll that in. In the light it shines. That's when I picked it up. Yes, that's it, no more. And let's finish. That is our next 2 pages. They're in, and we can move on to the next one. I'm going to get it all ready, and then I'll come back and I can show you what it is all about. We're going to carry on with our next page. Now let's just go back. This is the 2 pages that we finished, and in the book we're going to do the next 2 pages. So I've got them all ready. I'm just going to take the book away. This page, it is a simple, easy one that I've done. I cut the pattern paper to size. Then it's just a nice big pocket. Let me grab something I can show you. It is a nice deep pocket, and then I've just put the pattern paper on it. Now the pattern paper is exactly as the bigger paper, and that comes in. Now where they've got the squares, that was that one. And I just did a fold with a die cut the edge and just a fold out. So that's fold out like this, and then you've got your big pocket. The pocket I just wrapped around, and there is the pocket. I can give you the measurements for all of this. It's very easy. So the pocket, the big pocket, I've cut that by 7 inches. Now you need to cut it a little bit bigger, 7¼ inch, and that the length is 7 inches. Then what I do is I place it on my book, on my pattern paper, sorry. I put it on the pattern paper, make sure it's even all sides, and then I just tucked it in. You can see I just tucked it in. It's not very big flaps, and then the bottom as well. And I've just cut the corners out so that you can have a little bit less bulk on your corners when you cut it out. That was that. And another thing is I made sure that that square just fit nicely on the pocket. Now for those ones that don't have die cuts, that's fine. You can have just a straight edge. You don't need to have it. Or if you want to have a swirly a swirly cut, sorry, or a little bit of a decorative, there's scissors. You can use scissors, or you can just use something. You see, this is round. Just put it there, make a pencil line, and just bring this a little bit down. Make a pencil line and just connect it. There's so many ways of using what you've got. And the fold out, it is 5½ by, I have to lift that one, by 6. I've just made sure that this fits onto the paper. It is, let's see, it is some of these cuts, and just make sure it fits. It was a little bit short, and I've just filled that in with the pattern paper, the bigger flower that was left, and I've placed that on a magnet, and I just cut a little flower out, and that is a closure. It measures 4½ inches, and it is 1 5/8 in the width, and I've just put a piece of paper that was left from the offcuts, and then I cut the tag out just to cover, just to make that a little bit more pretty. And I did the same at the back, and that was a piece of offcut that I've just fitted on the paper. And we're going to do some score tape. Sorry, this one I had 2 score lines at the 1/2 inch and then 1 notch on. I think the 1 notch on is 1/8 inch, because you need to have that extra play when you put stuff in your pocket and you put photos and on this side. So you need to have that extra lift for it. That's the one side. The next one is going to be an easy one. Pattern paper, we cut it to size. It should be 6 3/8 by 7 3/4. Now mine is a little bit, it's a little bit short. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So when you put it in, or on your page, we've got a fold out, and it's going to come on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure this is in the middle. Well, not in the middle. So my pattern paper is not exactly the same as what it should be, but I am going to work with it. So I'm going to put it to the side. I'm an inch short. That is in the width. I'm an inch short, but that's not a problem. We've got a fold out that we are going to put onto the side, and this measures 6.5 by 7.5. 6.5 by 7.5. Now I did going to put it in the middle of my pattern paper. Now it is a little bit short on that side and on this side. I normally do that so that you can see, easy can see this is a fold out. You know, when someone gets the book, that's easy for them to identify that is a fold out. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the fold out to the edge of my paper. I'm going to show you to the edge. Well, like a little bit, like 1/8 of an inch showing. So that will eliminate that problem. And later on, when we do have offcuts, we can just come and fold it in. But for now, that is what we're going to do. That's an easy fix if you are a little bit short on your paper. I'm just going to put the book to the side. And now the pattern paper that I've used on here, this was the other cut off from the squares that you do get, the solid colors. This was one of the cut-offs, so I just cut it to fit. And I had one piece of pattern paper left, and I've just cut it in half and just add it onto here, so we've got the right size of our pattern paper, our designer paper that we need. But we are going to have a fold out. Now you just need to try and see that you've got a pattern paper that fit the page. We've got a flip out, so we're going to do it on this side so that this is going to show. When you do that, that is going to show. And you never know that there's a different pattern paper on the inside. This was the sentiments, and I just cut it in half. That's why I do like to have my sentiments. Now this one, it measures 5 5/8, and you're going to score on the 1/2 inch. Most of my scoring I do 1/2 inch because I feel that part there, the 1/2 inch, is more than enough to glue down or tape down in your book. This way it's going to be 5 1/2 inches, so you need 2 of them. The other one, you need to do an extra score line. So the extra score line, I normally go into the 1/2 inch when I do that. adds 1 notch on, and that is 1/8 of an inch, and that's where we're going to score and fold. Now the pattern paper for this one, it is one of the designs, and now here you can play and see how you want it. This way I do like, but I do like it that way as well. I think that way is going to win. And we're going to do under our pattern paper. So it's going to go under the pattern paper. This one is going to go over that one, under the pattern paper, onto our first score line. And this one is going to go onto that. And that looks very nice. So let me just pop that one in. That's going to go on there. Now we need to have a closure for this. The closure that I think to have, I just need to see how I'm gonna do that. I was thinking of having it over from this side. I'll just look into here for some offcuts. And I do. There it is. I've got an offcut here. So if we do, we have to do it underneath our pattern paper. We will score and let it come underneath our pattern paper, and we'll have a closure from that side over here with a magnet. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave that there, but first thing is I'm going to work with this, and I'm going to put, you can do score tape or you glue, and I'm going to put it like there's enough space on either side of my pattern paper for it to show. And let me grab my glue. The glue that I'm using here, it is Cosmic Shimmer. I think this is from England. It comes from England. It's very nice glue. I like it. It's the same as art glitter glue, but my art glitter glue is the last in the bottle, and I turned it upside down so I can get the last bit out. Okay, so that is gonna go. And stay away from your score line. And I think I just need to move a little bit. That's it. I've got a little bit more to move over here. And I'm just going to rub off my pencil marks. That's it, and we can burnish it. Now you will see it's not very close to the edge of the pattern paper. It's a little bit showing, like 1/8 of an inch showing. So that is that part. Now we will put that aside, and let's come to this. Now pattern paper, and I'm just gonna glue this one on. Now I'm gonna do this off camera. I don't think you would like to see me gluing all this, and I can come back to you. I am going to round these corners because I do like it. I've got a corner rounder, and you can see there it looks much better. You can bend these points of the paper, and after a while it's not looking good. And you can use any rounder, doesn't matter. What you've got in your stash, just use it. Right, we're going to place that in the middle, and I'll come back and show you. That one is in. Glue it. That falls down. I just want to finish it. Right, now we're going to do this one. Now you can also decide, do you want to let it be over each other, or do you want to bring this one down that sticks out? I'm going to do mine over that way. I think that's the best. I'm going to do mine that way. Okay, so I'm just going to pinch. I'm going to hold, bring it down. Oh, I moved. Just do it again. Pinched, hold it down, and you can see I moved to my last school line, and we're going to do the glue. Hold. And bring it down. And that's it. And then you can go to take it back to your score line, your second score line. Now, for the closure, let me grab my magnets. They're nice and strong magnets. Yes, I do get them from that place, you know, that place. No, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's from Wish. That's all I get from them, because I do like their magnets, although you do wait a long time for it. But I do like these magnets. That's the only magnets that I've tried so far. I don't know, you probably will get some magnets at other places, but like I said, I haven't tried. Now this one, we are going to have a look and see how wide do we want this. Well, I decided to have mine 6 inches long. I will keep the width. The width is nearly 2.5 inches, and I score at, I think it's 5 3/8 by 4 by 3/4. Just score the 2 lines, and I'll have to score again. Cardstock is very thick. Oops. And fold it and fold it again. There's the 2 score lines, and that's what I decided to have. It's nice wide, and we can do some nice decorative pieces on here. Sorry, my apology, they are building next to us. Oh, and they can make a noise. I'm telling you, it is just unbelievable. I'm going to round the corners, and that is how we're going to do it. So I'm going to place, I want this magnet over here, and let me see. because I did not put it in my, normally I would put my magnet underneath my pattern paper, and I did not do that. Okay, so that's going to be over there. I have to put my magnets, I can't put it on the edge because it's too strong, and I think that is where that one is going to go. It is strong magnets. That's an easy quick fix. We're just going to put a flower over it, and I'll just butter 2 magnets, and I'm going to do my score tape. I'm just going to cut a piece. Sorry, I want my pricky tool. Just backing off. Come on. Yep, that's about there. Oh, no, let's glue this first. That's going to be easier. Let's glue this in the middle. Hold it and glue, and then we're going to push it back to the last score line. Yes, and let's bring it down. We will put score tape over this, so don't worry. Of course, that's it. Now, let's do this. That's about there. That's it. And another piece. Come on. And bring it down, and I'm just holding it for a second, about, so that it can grab. You know, it's magnets, and that's it. I just need to get rid of my pencil lines here, and then later we can have a look and see what can we fit onto that. So that's, and that, and we can bring our book back. First I'm going to put score tape all around, and I will put this back, this in the book first. I did not do that. I did not do that. Okay. I was supposed to take this a little bit further. Right. To solve a problem, that problem. So this one comes on to the flip out. Now, the flip out, we're not going to have a closure on that because this is quite heavy. It will hold it down. So this is, I'll have to put it in the book like that, and then I'm gonna have to get something to put there. I did okay, so I'm not going to put this one down. I will put this one on top, because when I do get some wider offcuts, then I will see what I can fit in here and to solve that problem. At the moment, we're just going to do this one. If you cut your pattern paper exactly the width of your paper, so you can do it. Plant it, put it in, put your score tape around it, put it in, and put it in your book. For me, this is what I'm going to do. I will wait a bit to see what I can get. I'm ready to put my first page in. So I've done my score tape, I've burnished it, and I'm going to fill it in with glue. And then we can put it in the book. I'm just going to lift that one. These ones, I'm just going to do the corners. And this one. If you're okay with yours, take all your backing off and you can put it in. You don't have to do what I'm doing, but this is easy for me. Okay, and away from your fold line here, and make it so that it's even top, bottom, and now we can burnish. That's it. Next page is in, and our pocket. This one, I'm just going to put it on top, and we can come back and revisit this page. Yes, and down. I just need to see if I got it. Yes, I got it all off. I've put this in wrong. No, I did not. That's it. That's how craft is. That way, that way, that way. Yes. Okay, this is a funny page. This is a really funny page. It turns out, yes, that, and the fold out is now this side. But that's fine. That's also good. That's going to come into the book, and then I can put another piece, still a piece on here. So that's probably going to be a little bit easier to do. That. Yep. I will get something nice and pretty that we can put there, and then we can do this part and the magnets. This is gonna have to stay in the book. That's that page, and then we're gonna carry on, and I'm gonna put the other pages in.